In today's April 30/30 video, we'll be reading some work by Cynthia Manick. Cynthia is another poet I know from New York. She, for 10 years, curated and led this poetry series, the Soul Sister Review, and then there was this anthology she compiled from that. One of her readings she hosted was the last reading I went to in 2020 before like everything shut down in New York City. Brendan Lorber and I, who I featured in another poetry session, he and I went to that reading. It was an awesome night, so I encourage anyone who's interested to buy all of Cynthia's book, which I have here, Blue Hallelujahs, and we're gonna read today with No Sweet Without Brine. Things I can't say in this book: Gallop, conquistador, racist, yearning, heartfelt, rose, Gertrude Stein, Shaft, Jive Turkey, Richard Roundtree, Insouciant, and Alabaster. 2. Flies, gnats, and bees want my blood, especially. 3. There should be a starter kit for women featuring coconut oil, duct tape, judo lessons, and a switchblade that doubles as corkscrews, bottle opener, and flathead screwdriver. 4. In dreams, I taste hurricanes. I am never full. 5. I fear my brother, your brother, and his brother are vessels for gunpowder. 6. I'm agnostic, but small green Bibles the size of palms make me jealous. I think it's the promises they try to keep. 7. I don't give a fuck about carbs. 8. Something red is buried in my hello. It's probably anger. 9. Will I lose black points if I'm not angry enough? 10. You know you're really attractive when you're asleep and not talking. 11. The adult palate misses fried bologna that dimples in the middle. 12. Some questions hurt more than answers. Just ask Dr. King, Jesus, and Freddie Gray. 13. No, Cynthia isn't an ethnic name, and I do sound cultured on the phone. 4. There are 100 words for joy. How many do you use? 15. Dear Crayola, your 64 crayon pack is lacking multicultural options, i.e. cinnamon, cocoa, sepia, tan, and mahogany. 16. Dear Jetsons, Flintstones, and DuckTales, if you have Negro handmaidens or nannies hidden in your basement, just out of camera view, please release them at once, or have we all been exterminated? I chose that poem because I chose it for a few different reasons. I chose it for the listicle feature. I thought the form would be fun to play with for this one. I'm also thinking about things that feel forbidden to say as I'm working on my own poetry collection. And my mentor, Jeff Jackson, he talks about like using form to not say those things you can't say. So he talks about like using blank space as an option, or doing a sort of listing of like not being able to say it and just have that absence come out in some way. So I really like that for selfishly, I thought this prompt would be great for that. So some of the things that you guys can do, you could use the same title as Cynthia. Whenever I use a line from a poet or a title, I do attribution. So that means if you use a title, you can write after such and such poet. So in this case, after Cynthia Manick. It's always important to give attribution. I know in the world of AI, plagiarism is rife via kind of AI, and there's laws that have to be decided upon how we will handle AI and copyright claims, and we'll see how that goes. But in human realm, when we use something from someone else's, to avoid plagiarism, you make a note of when you do. So you can say things I can't say, and then you can write after Cynthia Manick, or you can write a note somewhere, title borrowed from Cynthia Manick. And then one of the other things you can do is you can do the listing format she does. So you can have that list going down and think about how do you exhibit what is unsaid. So she writes Gallop, conquistador, racist, yearning, heartfelt rose. These are words representing larger themes. And then she has some phrases. Flies, gnats, and bees want my blood. There's even listing, so her whole poem is a list, but then there's even listing within each section. And then there's straight up sentences. There are a few questions in here. There are clear responses that she's given to questions people have asked her. Like number 13, no, Cynthia isn't an ethnic name, and I do sound cultured on the phone. And all of these things kind of interact with each other too. That plays into the angry black woman trope that she references above. It goes into racist or microaggression, the tones of Crayola. So you can think about like which themes are gonna run through, if you're gonna have specific themes running through your whole list. You can think about how she does it, and each time it turns it a little differently. So it's not just like a straight up list. It's interacting. Each listing kind of interacts with the other listings as well. It's really beautifully done. I appreciate, Cynthia, what you've done here. That's a great place to start. Pretty straightforward prompt, and I'll do my best to pop the poem up on the page so you all can see how that looks. We'll do 15 minutes as we've been doing, and I'll go ahead and set the timer and begin. Oh. I'm so sorry. We went over. I think I'll have to continue this prompt after the session ends because this has been super generative for me so far. So that was a little over 16 minutes. I hope it was as generative for you all. I did go with Cynthia's title and then I went with the listing of the numbers, and that was very helpful. I kind of ran with what my mentor Jeff suggested for some of the topics I'm dealing with in my manuscript, and I'm excited about the direction it's taken. Please let me know how the session went for you all. Did you go with the prompt? If you want to share your poem in the comments below, feel free to do so. I'll see you all next time. Oh, also I'll link to Cynthia's books below so you can purchase them, and her bio as well so you can read about cool things she's doing. Oh, one of the things I forgot to mention with No Sweet Without Brine, I noticed on Cynthia's website she actually has a playlist that goes along with the book, which I thought was like a cool addition. I don't often see that with authors or poets. So if you want to listen to some tunes and read Cynthia's book, I'll link below to that as well. Take care, everyone.